Hello, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. I wanted to talk a little bit about what New York Governor Andrew Cuomo was spewing about this pandemic, as well as his ideas on socializing American industries in order to get what he wants. But first, I meant to tell you folks the last time I got a lot of new subscribers. And right next to that subscribe button, there's a little bell icon. I urge you all to click on that bell icon. I'm about to start doing some live chats again. I took some time off. And in order to be made aware that I'm going live, you have to click that little bell icon and it'll notify you. So, back to Como, a little sip of the Berkey water here from my Berkey water system. Back in 2008, now you got to understand this is a state responsibility. This is not a federal government responsibility. Federal government is the fallback, it's the safety net, but ultimately it is not their responsibility. That is left to the states, the separation of powers. Andrew Cuomo, back in 2008, was made aware that his hospitals needed to be updated, expanded, as well as the fact that he was not prepared for a pandemic of any type. He was made aware that he is far short on ventilators and his hospitals would never be able to take care of the onslaught of patients. He was made aware of this back in 2008. Since then, he has done zero. He didn't use any of the tax dollars and allocate it to building his infrastructure to fight against a pandemic. He was warned in 2008. Instead, what I believe is he took all that money and allocated it to, what else? Buy votes. Made sure everybody that needed welfare got welfare. Needed a free phone. You need diapers? What else you need? You need food stamps or whatever they call it nowadays? You need it? You need free babies? We'll get it. Allocated all his money towards activism and special programs for his agenda, for the left-wing agenda. Now, again, I am not a right. I am not a Republican, nor am I a liberal. So I am not just bashing one side. Please understand that. I don't believe in picking a team. He worked very hard at fighting for illegal immigrations. He fought for make sure everybody had their abortions. He fought really hard for every social program. And in my opinion, it was to gain votes for his party. To drive the socialist agenda. And that's what is starting to appear. And no news reporter is going to question him, but he urges that the president fix the problem. He flat out said he cannot find any ventilators. The whole world is competing for these ventilators. There are none to be had. And in the same breath, he gets on CNN, which is the website I have up. And by the way, I'm reading this mostly from CNN for those people who think I am anti one party or the other. I'm neither. He gets on, says there's none to be had anymore. I was able to obtain 7,000 of them, but we need 30,000 more. None to be had. This is for Donald Trump to fix. We need him to get us the ventilators. right in the same breath as he did admitting that there's no more to be had. His next sentence started with President Trump needs to basically socialize industry and force them to start building ventilators. However, remember, Trump already said he is besieged. I'm using the exact verbiage. He is besieged by American business and industry and has already volunteered to do so. Andrew Cuomo says, we only have 14 days. So he's adding that car salesman tactic, if you leave the lot, it can be sold type of fear. We only have 14 days. You know how long it takes to restructure a business? Let's just use Ford as an example. I can go in right now to Ford and say, hey, we're the government, we're taking over. You're going to work for us. You're going to be building ventilators. Cuomo said he needs all 30,000 in 14 days. Well, just to get the parts, how long do you think it's going to take? Just to rework all the lines, get the right machining involved, rewire everything, restructure everything, the infrastructure of the factory, the line. How long do you think that's going to take? The training of the employees to build this technical piece of medical hardware. How long do you think that's going to take? Oh, we need it in 14 days. Or it's Trump's fault. Millions of Americans are going to die if we don't get them in 14 days. And it'll all be Trump's fault. It is amazing. My main concern what they're doing, what I noticed, and I'm not saying every state, but it seems like every state that says mandatory lockdown, mandatory businesses are closing, it appeared at first they were all liberal states. New York City, you're not allowed to work, you're not allowed to walk the streets. Mandatory quarantine, only essential travel allowed. I'm sorry, you're all laid off. Then he turns to the federal government. Yeah, we got a bunch of laid off people. We need some of those federal funds, a bailout. One state after another did that. It wasn't 30 seconds after they claimed that they need everybody to self-quarantine, all business, all non-essential business must be shut down. It wasn't 30 seconds to a minute where these liberals turned to the government. Now we need you to bail these unemployed people out. We need you to bail out these businesses that I had to shut down, And I think it's all a ruse. I first of all, let me clarify this. I do believe that anybody that's been laid off, I'm praying they get relief, financial relief. I don't believe it should go to the bankers or anything like that. I believe the businesses, the mom and pop stores, should get a bailout. But what I think is really going on behind the scenes that no one's talking about, they're trying to ruin the Trump economy. They're trying to crash it. The bill that they tried to pass just yesterday or the day before, where the liberals, Nancy and them, just stuffed it with a bunch of fat and pork, stuff that had nothing to do with the pandemic. Purposefully, what did I hear? 1,400 pages of stuff, of just nothing. Stuff for the Green Deal, abortions, you need to take care of museums and this and that and the Clean Air Act, all this stuff that they're filling. It's like they purposely want to crash this economy. My thing is, if you really want it so bad, make two bills. One just for the people, the common people, and the small mom and pop businesses. Notice I said small mom and pop businesses because I can care less about the big industries. and the bankers. One for the small mom and pop businesses and common people, and then we'll do another one and vote on that separately for your fat and pork. I think that's what's really going on. This is, in their eyes, this is their last attempt to tarnish Trump's election. Personally, and I'll end this video, personally I don't believe there should be any kind of bailout. Oh, I believe in something even better. It's in the Bible, actually. It's called a debt Jubilee. Look it up. That's what I believe. I believe that all debt from this point, because who owns most of the debt? It's the common people. The common people have to pay back the Federal Reserve and the taxes and everything. The government doesn't do it. They take it from you to pay it. All debt. Null and void now. IRS, nobody owes you nothing. Banks, nobody owes you nothing. Yes, you don't owe any money on your mortgage. Nothing. From this point on now, you can start charging for new home mortgages and new loans. I'm not saying forever. Up to now, all debt is wiped out. And if anybody wants to go into debt after now, that's on them. I think that will fix the economy. I personally wouldn't have to pay my car payment or my mortgage. What do you think I'm going to do with that money? I probably will use it to put into the economy. I also might be a little smarter and wiser not to get into those types of debts anymore. So what do you think would fix the economy? Trillions of dollars worth of bailout? Or a debt jubilee? I'm no economist, and I don't know if a debt jubilee mechanically would work. But to me, from a common man's perspective, I think it would. Everybody, you no longer expect any debt owed to you beyond today's date. What is today's date? March 24th? Anybody owes you anything? Wiped out. Moving forward, anybody applies for another loan, anybody wants a new car, anybody wants a new house, anybody has hospital bills from this day forward, that's on them. And you will be able to collect upon those new debts, no old debts anymore. That's my opinion. That will help that would truly help everybody with equality. People behind rent, you no longer have that, you no longer are behind rent. You're even Steven. However, if you stay in that apartment, if you stay in that business and you owe a lease or rent, moving forward, you owe it again with no repercussions. Anyway, folks, that's just my idea. I just wanted to run that through you and see what you think about it. And if there's any financial people out there, educate us. Would this really work? Would this truly stimulate the economy? Banks would immediately, they wouldn't close down because their debts wouldn't be owed to somebody else either. See, the debt jubilee would affect everybody. Businesses. It would affect businesses. They themselves would not have to pay their debts to other people, other businesses, other vendors, other suppliers. All debt from this timeline, this date, and before, wiped clean. What do you think? Take care. Remember that bell icon, folks, and give me a thumbs up. Really appreciate it. And always feel free to share my videos. Take care.